Hello everyone and welcome in this tutorial where I'll be teaching you about default arguments or parameters. What do I mean by default arguments or parameters? Well, you know how we add value between the parentheses that's called parameters. What if we add value to the arguments that are in the inside of the parentheses, and when we call them they already have a value? That sounds interesting. Let's start to code our program. So, first of all, let's make a function that calculates the volume of a geometrical shape. So let's make volume. So we need three variables. First, length, width, and height. To calculate this, we need to return L times W times. Okay, well, perfect. When we prototype it, we need to get this and put it up here, right? But we said we're going to add default arguments. So basically, default arguments means that we want to add default parameters or default arguments that we can change when we add value in our main function. So this is normal, and let's just get this and prototype it up here. So when adding default arguments or parameters, we only add them when we prototype our function. We don't need it when we declare it because we want to set it when we are prototyping it. So our program, our compiler knows that it already is an existing value. So let's set it equal to 1. Like I said, to add default parameters or arguments, we need to add a value to the variable, so the program, the computer, knows that without adding anything between the parentheses, we already have a value for it. For example, let's make a test. So let's console out volume 3 times. First time without adding anything in the parameters. Second time, let's add the number 3. And the third time, let's just add the number 2 and 3. So when we run it in our console, we will see 1, 3, and 6. Let's check. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So 3 times 1 times 1 is 3. 2 times 3 times 1 is 6. If you're confused and you're wondering why don't we have an error, we are just entering one or two values but the other is missing. That's the whole point about default arguments. They already have a value, and when we add one or two of these values, for example, we added 3 here, only 3. That means the first argument, the first element of our parameters gets the value 3, and by default the others have 1. And in the second here, the third time we are printing the volume, we are calling the volume function in our main function, we added value to the first two variables. We added 2 to length and 3 to width. That means we have let's run again, we have the value of 6. So simply that are default arguments or parameters. And I hope you understood what I taught you guys in this tutorial, and stay tuned for more.